Hi guys, so I'm gonna read The Brave and the Bold number 54. So this is the first appearance of the Teen Titans. So Kid Flash, Aqualad, and Robin. You're finished, Robin. If Kid Flash and Aqualad can stop my firestorm with their superpowers, what chance do you have? Kid Flash, Aqualad, and Robin. So yeah, they're not called the Teen Titans, but this is basically the first unofficial appearance of the Teen Titans. Leaping Mantis, that weird wind funnel. It'll stop Kid Flash before he can catch Robin. Chapter 1. When Kid Flash, Aqualad, and Robin took off for Hatton Corners, each thought he'd been summoned to settle some typical teenage trouble, never suspecting that they'd be teaming up to battle a menace that catapulted them into the peril of their lives when they met. The 1001 Dooms of Mr. Twister. So Mr. Twister was in Young Justice. Young Justice, the first season, borrowed a lot of elements from these early Teen Titans comics. They borrowed elements like Robin, Kid Flash, and Aqualad being in the same team and that. But yeah, it's some anyway. The Brave and the so in the town hall of Hatton Corners, an unusual public meeting is underway. Fellow citizens, I propose a curfew to solve our town's teenage problem. Right, we're with you, Mayor Corliss. Say no to teenage demands. Adults have rights too. Teenagers toe the mark. More chores, less play. It's really weird, okay. At the same time, in the dilapidated barn just outside town, another meeting is called to order, in a far stranger meeting. Gang, if we don't get our new teenage clubhouse, we'll go on strike. Strike? Cool. That's our leader, Eddie Corliss. His shirt got bugs on it. New clubhouse or bus, adults or square. Nix the curfew. Okay. Sometime later in Gotham City, as the Batman and Robin return from a routine crime patrol. Those Hatton Corners teenagers are acting like spoiled brats. Batman, you sound like an old square. The Hatton Corners adults just won't listen to the kids there. That's why the Hatton Corners Teen Club invited me to come plead their case. With your permission, of course. Well, I guess I can spare you for a while. Good luck and hurry back. Well, in Central City, what's with those teenagers, Kid Flash? Why won't they behave themselves? Behave themselves? Flash, like all adults, forget that you were once a teenager too. But no wonder the Hatton Corners Teen Club asked me to come help them. They know only another teenager really understands their problems. Yes, but I'm afraid teenagers don't understand adults' problems either. However, it's okay for you to go. And at this very moment in the ocean depths, our real friend has brought a note in a bottle, Aqualad. What does it say? It's to me, Aqualad, from the Hatton Corners Teen Club. Man, how do these guys get around? Like, they go into like the bottom of the ocean and everything. Okay. They need me to help settle a dispute with the town's adults. Young people shouldn't dispute with their elders, but you can go. Just remember, you can't exist out of the water more than an hour. Don't worry, Aquaman, I can take care of myself, even if I am just a teenager. Robin Kid Flash, Aqualad. Three renowned heroes converging on a quiet town to help settle its problems. Unaware they are plunging into the most fantastic adventure of their youthful careers. The Teen Club, it's demolished, deserted. Kid Flash, what brings you here? I guess we both got the same invitation, Robin. Aqualad, you too? Right, where's the welcoming committee? That clubhouse looks like a typhoon hit it. Racing to the town hall, the bewildered trio hears an even more startling development. You say, Mayor Corliss, the town's teenagers are gone? All of them, Robin, led by my own son Eddie. They've gone on strike just as they threatened. It's outrageous. Here, read this note. All of us cats decided to skip until adults to the music get hip. Okay. Build a new clubhouse, Hatton Corners teens. Some nerve, eh? They probably wrecked the old clubhouse for spite. Those teenagers today will do anything to have their way. You said it, Mayor. Right. Phony. That note's a fellows, that note's a phony. No teenager would use the word music in a hip language message. They'd use jive, and that barn was wrecked by a terrific wind. Trouble is, these adults don't trust any teenagers now, including us. We need real proof, so you two scout the surrounding area while I search around town. Check. At dazzling speed, the Kid Flash zooms over hill and dale. Not a sign of a teenager anywhere. While Aqualad returns to his own element and scouts the nearby seacoast. I've checked with every fish in these waters, not a clue to the missing kids. Meanwhile, back in Hatton Corners, my stars, a twister is coming. We never had tornadoes here before. There are no storm cellars. The bank, everyone to the bank. As the panicky townspeople carry out Robin's urgent command. We're all inside, but there's no more room. I'll take my chances out here. No sooner does the boy wonder close the vault door than kavoom. Only the heavy vault resists Yasum wind. Got to hang on, or I'll be blown to kingdom come. Whoosh. Suddenly, from inside the whirling funnel, a hurricane voice booms. So, the famous Robin resists my powers. He has yet to feel their full force. Blow winds, pluck Robin to his doom. And in answer to the fantastic figure within the whirlwind, I've been torn loose. Whoosh. It is at this precise moment that Kid Flash returns from his fruitless search to see Robin, he'll be killed. Like an outfielder after a long fly ball, the small speedster accelerates to intercept his airborne companion. Got to shift into high gear. Got him. As they streak back to town, my hypervelocity enables me to catch and carry heavy objects without strain, Robin. Lucky for me, Kid Flash, thanks. There's this weird character who's behind all this, and he's without that twister now. Don't worry, I'll handle him. Immediately, Kid Flash turns himself into a veritable teenage tornado. I'll blow him into the next county. But the bizarre villain gestures with his carved staff and... Great guns! That character KO'd Kid Flash. I'm okay, Robin. My body, vibrating internally at super speed, saved me from that bolt's full effect. Is it alright to come out? What's going on here? As the townspeople emerge from the vault. Good grief up there! It's Brahm's stick. Yes, Mayor Corliss. I have returned as Mr. Twister, and with the great powers I now possess, I'll take my revenge on Hatton Corners. I warn you, unless you meet my demands, your teenagers will never walk these streets again, for I have them all where you cannot find them. You have them? Just as I figured, they didn't leave on their own. Hey, Robin, but if you and your teenage hero friends try to thwart me, you'll feel my powers again. You're no match for Mr. Twister. I'm trying to make him sound like Big Bird, because that's what he reminds me of. Gulp. He made that tornado appear like magic. I will return again, and when I do, you better pay the debt this town owes me. Farewell. So there's an ad for Superboy. I think Yeah, Superboy was very popular in the 50s and 60s. Chapter 2, Hatton Corners, a typical American community, has become fantastically a town without teenagers. They played the juke too loud. They messed up the place. But I miss those kids. How come there's no, like, women? There's only, like, guys everywhere. I don't... They led me to some merry chases, but they were all good kids. It's just a ghost town now. Yeah, like, those kids would have, like, mothers. I don't know, they're all, like, guys. So, anyway. I'd build 10 new clubhouses to have them back. Those adults really appreciate their teenagers now when it's too late. It's not too late. We're going to rescue those kids from Mr. Twister, somehow. Mayor Chorus, who is that, this Brom Stick, alias, Mr. Twister? And what's this debt he insists the town owes him? A debt we can never pay, Robin. No one could. You see, when old Jacob Stick gave the land to build Hatton Corners, in colonial days, he asked for very peculiar rent. From now on until the end of time, the town will pay me and my descendants 1 passenger pigeon feather yearly, or forfeit one of your stalwart youths to labor in my service for that year. Agreed? Ha ha, old Jacob has a sense of humor. Passenger pigeons swarm by the millions. No chance we will ever slack such a rental. Agreed. When Jacob Stick died, that strange rent died with him, and was all but forgotten until one day recently. You say you're Brom Stick, the last descendant of old Jacob? Aye, and as his heir, I demand the back rent you have not paid me these many years. Passenger pigeon feathers for my cloak. Otherwise your youths are forfeit to me. In 1964, this character seemed like a joke. Trying to blackmail us, eh? Officer Ridley, kick him back into the Halloween ball he must have escaped from. Ha ha ha! You'll pay for this. Now, with awesome powers he's obtained from who knows where, Brom Sticks made good on his threats. He's stolen our teenagers, taken them all as forfeit for the debt he claims we owe him. And since passenger pigeons have been extinct since 1913, there's no chance of meeting that crazy rent. But don't worry, Mr. Mayor. Kid Flash, Aqualad, and I will rescue your teenagers. We'll beat this Mr. Twister at his own game. Shortly at the local airport. Why have you brought us here, Robin? We should be out searching for those missing kids. That's what we're doing. This radar record shows unidentified flying objects moving southwest from Hatton Corners the same night the teenagers vanished. A flock of geese, probably. It's spring. Geese would be flying north, not south. By taking that direction from Hatton Corners, we'd end up here on Goat Island. Let's check it out. So a little later, this manta ray makes a great taxi, Aqualad. Controlling sea beasts is almost as good as having super speed. It's better, Kid Flash. The sea's the best place to grow up in. Fun and adventure all the time. But of course you wouldn't know about that. Stop bickering, you two. That's Goat Island ahead. Okay, for a guy without superpowers, you sure gave a lot of orders. As the far-famed trio stealthily moves ashore on the desolate, uninhabited island. Look how weird this is, man. That should be like a meme or something. This is funny. My hunch is those unidentified flying objects were teenagers being whirled away by Mr. Twister's pet tornado. Leaping lionfish! Robin, Kid Flash, look! Indeed, it is a staggering spectacle that greets the 3 youthful heroes. Faster, my young guests. Toil faster to erect my monument. A Twister frozen forever in stone. Ah! Well, there's some of the girls, I guess. The missing teenagers are here all right, working for Mr. Twister as forfeit for that unpaid rent. Uh-oh, look, that one boy's up to something. No, Eddie, don't try it. As the girl's outcry alerts the bizarre Mr. Twister. A rope trick, my teenage friend. I'm fond of them, but I'm afraid the trick is on you. Ah, ah, ah. Oh, Eddie, if only we were all safe back in Hatton Quarters. I miss my dad and mom, so... Yes, yeah, Marcia, I guess our town and its adults are the greatest after all. How about that? Those teenagers sure do appreciate their parents now. Yes, just like the adults have begun to appreciate them. And we've got to reunite them all somehow. I am leaving this island for a time, but when I return, the tower had better be finished, or you'll all feel my wrath. Finished? But that's impossible. He's right, those poor kids can never complete that rock pile. We've got to help them. Check Aqualad. You and Kid Flash do what you can here, while I go and find if I can find the source of Mr. Twister's power. So a short while later, my staff's powers need replenishing. Not enough left to carry me aloft, but still adequate to drive this craft. Meanwhile, back at Goat Island. Kid Flash, Aqualad, we're saved. Whoa, slow down, we can't free you yet. Not until we find a way to overcome Mr. Twister's powers. Oh, I hope he doesn't make a check for stowaways. Yeah, I forgot to read anyway. I hate when the captions are like on the very bottom. Like it's like out of the... That's kind of not the comic's fault though, that's a scan. But I can finish this crazy staircase in jig time using my super speed. Watch. His strength increased by his hypervelocity, the scion of speed seizes a pile of rocks and... Wow, look at him go, go, go. The tower, he's building it higher. Higher, higher. Again and again the boy bullet zooms up and down on the strange structure until... The tower, it's tickling the sky. It's tickling the sky. There, that should satisfy Mr. Twister. Hooray for Kid Flash. At this very moment on the mainland, in a cave in the peaks beyond Hatton Corners, a bath on these hot potions will renew the staff's powers. How unfortunate I stumbled into this long-lost Indian medicine cave for shelter when they drove me from Hatton Corners. So that's the source of his evil mastery. But then, a shadow of Robin. I'm spotted! The boy wonder reacts with the swiftness sharpened by 1,000 adventures. A little sneezing dust from my utility belt to start off. You little meddler, I'll achoo! As spasms of sneezing blind and confuse the fantastic figure. A good old-fashioned uppercut is nothing to sneeze at, chum. Achoo, achoo, achoo! But as Robin's fist lands on Mr. Twister's chin. Achoo! Wham! Too bad, my young friend. You aren't aware that as long as I clutch this staff, its force fills my body and repels any blow struck against me. Shortly after, as a sinister funnel of wind streaks into Hatton Corners, Mr. Twister, he dumped Robin, is whirling away again. Look, a note pinned to his chest. It says, unless the rent is met by tomorrow's date, earth, water, and fire will be your fate, Mr. Twister. Good grief, what could it mean? Robin, he's reviving. He's all right. As the boy wonder ponders the note. Unless you pay Mr. Twister those passenger pigeon feathers by tomorrow, that madman will unleash more menaces against the town. But that rent's impossible for us to pay. What can we do? I don't know. While he holds your teenagers hostage, it's risky to defy him, let alone face his powers. While on Goat Island, Kid Flash is a big hero with those teenagers. He couldn't keep up with me underwater. Which reminds me, it's time I submerged a while. Able to exist in air for only 1 hour, the young marine marvel dives in to replenish his water-breathing lungs. makes a startling discovery. Why, the under part of this island is eroded away to its thin stalk. What an idea that gives me. Sometime later, as a familiar funnel of wind riles the sea. The island gone. My teenage hostages have escaped me. But how is this possible? The answer lies miles away, floating at the waves. It's working. At my telepathic command, my whale friends shoved the island off the needle perch and are moving it to where Mr. Twister can't find it. There's one comical I Spy. Oh, King Faraday, yeah, that was a character. He was in Justice League, the New Frontier movie. I remember King Faraday. Chapter 3, The Town That Would Not Die. Aqualad, using his telepathic powers to command the ocean denizens, has ordered a mighty herd of whales to move Goat Island and its captive teenagers to where the vengeful villain Mr. Twister cannot find them. Hooray! Hooray for Aqualad! Sigh, he's so cute. Yes, I could go for him. Huh? They need gills to go on a date with him. Afterward, as the island docks along the deserted coastline. Wait here, kids. I'll tell your parents you're all safe. Thanks, Kid Flash. And no time at all back at Hatton Corners. What can we do? We can't fight Mr. Twister as long as he has our children. Correction, Mr. Mayor. Your teenagers are safe where he can't find them. After Kid Flash quickly explains, by Ginger, with our children safe, we'll show Mr. Twister let him through his threats at us. Hey, that yellow cloud. Never saw one like it. It's getting bigger and coming right this way. And on the mountain rim above the town, Hatton Corners, for to find me, this is your end. As the yellow cloud, now grown huge, halts and hovers over the town. Dust, a rain of dust coming down. It must be Mr. Twister's first threat. He said earth, fire, and water that would be the town's fate. Down comes the dust, piling up higher and higher, sifting and drifting into every nook and cranny like a yellow blizzard. It's burying the town. Not while I've got my speed. Instantly, this junior team's swiftest member streaks off through the clogged streets. I'm traveling fast enough to create a vacuum behind me. It's picking up that dust. Like an ultra-fast vacuum cleaner, Kid Flash scours every inch of Hatton Corners until... My stars, he's taking that dust out of the town, every speck. And beyond the town limits, the town wanted this swampy area filled in. So I'll just put it on the brakes and it's filled. Screech, screech. Soon back in Hatton Corners. Wonderful, you certainly disposed of that threat in a hurry. Hold on, here comes another one. A green cloud this time. Moments later, as the new cloud hovers above the town. There's your answer. Rain. Every drop a bucketful. Take cover. Down thunders the water, a deluge like no one has ever seen before. It's flooding everything. This is really the end of Hatton Corners. Ha ha, they're fleeing in panic. This is one threat those teenage heroes can't handle. Ha ha ha. But at this very moment, on the waters of a nearby river, suffering sharks. The town's flooded. I gotta do something. Fast. Seconds later. Look, Aqualad is riding into town on a narwhal. What's he trying to do? At a telepathic command from Aqualad, the tusked animal plunges to the bottom and, next instant, the flood waters are receding. The town's saved again, but how? Before long comes the amazing answer. My narwhal friend bored a hole to let the waters drain off through regular underground channels. Now we've got to reach the river before he's left high and dry. Good work, Aqualad. And where angry eyes watch Hatton Corners emerge from the watery doom. Kid Flash and Aqualad. They defeated my first two threats, but I'll make sure they don't stop the third one. Again, an ominous cloud moves towards the helpless town, and... A rain of fire! We can't possibly fight that. Yes, we can. Our Kid Flash, Aqualad. Roll out the fire engine. Unlike you, Robin, I don't need any firefighting apparatus. I got super speed to whip out those flames. But just as the Junior Crimson Crusader reaches high gear, zap, zap. Mr. Twister, he KO'd Kid Flash and Aqualad. Then, as the slivers of fire ignite more and more of the town, Robin's pulling his two fallen comrades to safety. Ha ha. No need to give him a jolt. Without superpowers, he can't harm me. Mr. Twister's made sure he'll win. This time, Aqualad and I are out of action. But I'm not, and I've had enough of that character. As the rain of the fire ceases, Robin thinks he'll snuff out my revenge on this town. The young fool, I'll stop him dead in his tracks. Once more, the seemingly invincible villain unleashes a thunderbolt from his whirling vantage point. What? He evaded it. He's rising up to me. Riding up the ladder, top rung, like the acrobatic star he is, the boy wonder shoots up, and I'll blast you from your perch. Then see if you can fly, my young bird. That staff must snare it. The bat rope from Robin's utility belt snakes out and... My staff! A deft twist of the wrist and down it plunges. Consumed by the flames, the magical staff's powers vanish in an instant. Guess he's the bird that can't fly now. Yee! Recovered from Mr. Twister's bolts, Kid Flash and Aqualad rush to help the victorious Robin. I take back everything I said, Robin. You showed us that brains and bravery are as important as superpowers any day. And how? As, after dousing the fires that threaten the town, Brahm's stick is finished as a threat to Hatton Corners. How can we ever thank you three? That's easy, Mr. Mayor. By taking back your teenagers and trying to understand them. I know they appreciate you grown-ups now. So a short time later, as Hatton Corners echoes with the shouts of every citizen, young and old. So I say, we're all going to build the biggest, coolest teenage clubhouse that ever was. Hooray! I guess Mr. Twister did some good after all. This is certainly no ghost town anymore. Check. Once again, a startling... Wait, check? I guess that means okay in the 1960s teenage lingo. Once again, a startling new team of DC heroes has triumphed. Watch Brave and the Bold for new teams, new adventures, new excitement. So here's an advertisement for Flash and Hawkman. That's Weather Wizard on the left. Weather Wizard. I'll read that one day, per the left one. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy this video. Yeah, if you guys could like, comment, or subscribe, that'd be appreciated. Thank you, and I'll see you guys later.